Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
All right, you've had a month now, and you still haven't found it. What are you out there doing right now? Are you even listening to the clues? Do you want to win the KOs or not? Listen to the Mix FM. JJ, gosh, tell them what they got to do, man, because obviously they aren't doing it right.
You got to be listening for the clues again each weekday morning when you wake up bright and early at 6 a.m. Matt McKee, Matt and the Morning Crew, they'll have that clue first thing for you bright and early each weekday morning. Again, go out and find that key packet. We've stashed it good somewhere across southern Ohio. We're not saying where. You just got to listen for the clues. And again, when you think you know where it's at, go find that key packet. Stop by our Total Media Studios at the Stockmeister Plaza on Main Street in Jackson. Turn it in, and you're going to write off on a KO Predator 125 or a KO Storm 150 from your friends at Honda Suzuki Polaris K&M of Jackson and Total Media.
Better hurry, or it's going to be well used.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. Basketball mania continues on.
Yes, it does.
Crazy stuff over the weekend.
It is. Lots of upsets, Jen.
I mean, a 16 beating a 1.
I'm sad to report my my bracket is now broken, Jen.
Your bracket's
because of that.
Broken.
Because of what you just said.
That is crazy.
Because I had Kansas to go all the way again, and they are out.
How does that happen?
I know. By 1 point. I'm gonna look the game up, but I was keeping track of scores over the weekend.
Yeah, Purdue did me in too because I had them going pretty far, and so anyway, we'll see. James, how's our office pool going? He's looking.
He's looking.
Are you looking right now?
He's getting to the mic.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so the Stockmeister Total Media Office poll. Currently, we have Amanda Coy in first place, Matt McKee in second place, Derek McManus tied for second place, Brock Wolford, Nicole Mullins, Cindy Schad, all tied for third place.
Nice.
So what happens, say if those people's brackets get busted, then what? Do we just go based on points?
Yeah, it's based on points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if your bracket gets busted, you still maybe got a chance to win.
Yeah, because it's just like, and as it goes on, each game is worth more points.
Yeah. Right.
So
so like Derek
the farther you go ahead.
Derek has Arizona winning, so he's probably going to fall. Amanda's got Houston winning, who's still alive, and Matt McKee has Alabama winning, who is still alive. So,
I have Alabama winning too, so that will help me if.
Jen, I think you're going to need
Kansas at the end.
Jen, you're going to need a
lot of help.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of help.
So what you're saying is the mascot thing did not
work in your favor.
Well,
that's what I did.
So here I'll just look at the bottom of the bracket because I'll celebrate a little bit because I'm not on the bottom of the bracket. Dead last place, we got Caitlin. Next to last place, we got Jennifer. Third from last place.
You can rub that in Caitlin's face.
Yeah, right.
Third from last place, we got Red Thompson.
Okay.
And then just a couple points up, we got Jeremiah Shaver.
Yeah.
Hey, you're beating me.
So I'm hanging around the middle of the pack.
I was
for
up
a
there
change.
for a while. At one point, I was in first.
But like Jeremiah, I had Kansas winning, so I'm gonna plunge after this week probably.
Oh well. Well, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here, Jeremiah, here to give us some news updates, some exciting stuff over the weekend.
Yes.
Our good friend Pete Wilson is back in the building from vacay.
He has returned. He looks good and rested, and
we hope that he is feeling good and rested and ready to hit the pavement again. But let's do your Cycle Search clue
Let's do it.
so we don't forget more than anything.
Right. Now, everybody listen up. Get your pen and
Listen
paper
up.
out.
Today is day 21 of the 2023 Cycle Search. And today is also the first day of spring.
Oh, it is. I
Sometime,
forgot.
not that it feels like it outside.
I think it's supposed to warm up, though, later this week, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Our Cycle Search clue today brought to you by Elizabeth's Flowers and Gifts and Howard Hanna Realtors. So I want to thank them for that. And day 21 clue is spring has sprung, but no one has won. Keep listening, and you could be the one. There you go.
There you go. I'd write it down, but I
Yep.
don't think there's a whole lot to that.
I think you're probably right.
I feel like that one's one of the fun ones when there's like a holiday or a special, event.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will tell you that there's some really good clues this week.
You have to listen up every
So
day.
you have to listen.
Here in the radio.
Yes,
Get 2 opportunities.
exactly.
All right,
So what's
Jen.
going on, buddy?
Well, we had some exciting news over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys had in last week the Jackson High School cheerleaders.
We did. The seniors
They
were
did,
here.
yeah, and they went down to Florida for their I don't know what it's called, a national championships.
Yeah.
And we got
Competition,
the
yeah.
competition, yes, and we got news that they are the 2023
Whoop, whoop.
Game Day Building National Champions. And
Yay!
overall grand champions in the game day and traditional division. And they also hit 0 during their competition on, must have been
Saturday.
Saturday. And they also hit 0 on Friday when they had their competition then too.
No, it would have been Saturday, Sunday.
Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. The weekend just goes by
It's
so
okay.
quick. I get my
It's all right.
days all messed up, Jen, and it doesn't help when I have to work over the weekend because it's like 7 days, and everything runs together on me. But anyway, I want to congratulate them, and here are
Yes.
the girls with their trophy on the mat there.
Yay. They did
And
so
they
well.
were just so excited to get this. And I believe they're back-to-back national
They are,
champions, if I
yes.
recall. I think
Yep.
they won, last year?
Yes,
As well. So we want to congratulate them on that win.
that's right.
Before we move on, we got a little photo here that was
Oh,
on
no.
Facebook we want to share. Can anybody pick out which person is Jen in this photo?
It's sad that I work here every day and people still don't know which one is me.
I know it's hard. It's because you ain't got
So,
the curls.
I know. So
That's what it
here's the
is.
deal. So this is 7th grade
7th grade.
Jen.
7th grade Jen.
7th grade Jen. And yeah, so my good friend Sheila, who is in the bottom middle, Sheila was Shoemaker, posted this yesterday and just said congratulations to all the from all the cheerleaders out there.
Right.
And I thought it was just such a funny, cute picture. And
It is a cute photo.
so yeah, those girls are awesome. And the funny thing is, 2 of us work here in this building.
Very good.
Yeah, so bottom left was Valerie Williams, now Irwin, Sheila, Spencer, Kendra, it was Maynard, and then Megan Gillen up at the top left. And then I'm in the middle, top, and then Candy was McKinney, works here in the building with us too, and she's on the top right. So, and us and all of our hair is there.
Yes. It's a great photo. We had to share that just with the girls winning their championship.
Yes, love that. And funny story about those outfits. We loved them, the little sailor outfits. But one of the girls that had them before us, her mother had done something to her skirt and it turned it pink.
Oh no.
So I ended up with the pink skirt. And so my mom had to go and have me a new skirt made because I wasn't going to wear a pink skirt. It was horrible.
You were the star, Jen.
Yeah.
They could have just said you were the captain.
Yeah,
That's why you
right.
had the
With a
pink.
pink skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, a red shirt and a pink
skirt.
skirt. That looked real good. So anyway, but
Whoops.
those were cute
Very good.
outfits. So yeah,
So congratulations to them again.
Yay!
And,
You go, girls.
I watched one of the videos on Facebook, and it was fun to watch them. They were counting down, from like I don't know if it was like the top 5 down to them or something, and they're like, from the Buckeye State, the Jackson Ironman or whatever, and it was just neat to hear that over the loudspeakers and them
that's
get
so
all
cool.
excited and everything.
Yep.
I should have had Dylan pull that video, but
I feel
anyhow.
like so we had like McKenna last weekend winning the state
Yes.
championship. We've got these girls winning the national stuff. We've got all of this great stuff
All
with our
this great
kids
stuff
going on
with
right
the
now.
kids.
It's so cool.
Yes.
So
So once again, congratulations to them, and we'll move on to some other news here. So this week, Jen, the Jackson County Commissioners have recognized the week starting tomorrow, March 21st through the 27th, as National Ag Week.
okay.
So they do this each year, and our folks from the Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau always stop by for those meetings. And they usually bring a basket of goods to the commissioners, and we have a picture up there, and you can see it's just
nice.
filled with different stuff for the commissioners, all kind of based on that theme of Ag Week.
Love that.
And I know they always try to put some local stuff in that basket that they present to them. Let me see here if they got anything going on in particular this week. Let's see. I know Kim Harless with the Farm Bureau was there along with Dirk Dempsey and Arnold Coffey, and they took part in a discussion there with the commissioners. Like I was saying, on the baskets of goodies, it included fresh dinner rolls, local raised ground beef, vegetable seeds, a dozen eggs, apple butter, and much more.
Nice.
And they always have that discussion of, from the farm to the table.
Yeah.
And not everything. I know we go to Walmart and Kroger to do our grocery
we all
shopping.
need grocery
but,
stores.
a
Yes,
lot of
but-
times kids forget, or they're like, eggs come from Kroger, but they actually
Yes, they.
come from the farm there.
Yeah,
and-
nobody thinks about how they got to the grocery store.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So that's going
awesome.
on this week, and they always like to recognize that with a proclamation. And it says here to learn more about Ag Day celebration on March 21st, you can visit agday.org. So there you go.
Very good.
Just wanted to mention that. Tomorrow, Congressman Brad Winstrup has announced that there will be an upcoming mobile office hours here in Jackson. A field representative from his office will be at the Jackson City Library, located at 21 Broadway Street in Jackson, on Tuesday, March 21st from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. And the reason I mention this is they are there to help folks in need of federal assistance.
Okay.
So just wanted to put that information out there if you need any help with that.
Okay.
So not over this weekend, but this past weekend, I was up in the city of Wellston for you guys had the Boy Scout Troop 5057
Yes.
on. We didn't get to this last week, so I'm going to bring it up today. Troop 5057 of the Boy Scouts of America hosted its 35th annual spaghetti dinner and auction, Jen.
That's
and that was
right.
held on Saturday, March 11th. And I had some photos here that Dylan has on the screen. You have up there, this is Gilbert Harley,
Yep.
who's an auctioneer with Harley Auction Services. And he is passing off to one of the Boy Scouts there a pack of 4 Cincinnati Red baseball tickets. And that's what he was getting ready to auction off when I got that
Nice.
shot. I saw he shared this photo on his Facebook page, and he said, great action photo, Jeremiah. Hope your camera still works. is what
Gilbert.
he
He's
told
so
me. And he
funny.
tagged my page. So shout out to Gilbert there. The next photo we have, this is so in addition, they always have a spaghetti eating contest. But
Yes.
before they do that, they have a pie eating contest, Jen.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what this photo is. Let me find the cut line here for it. So participated in the pie eating contest, and this is from the left. You have Catherine Glass there on the end. She placed 6th. You have Jenna Johnson, who placed 5th. Then you have, well, no, I'm looking at the wrong photo, Jen. I'm sorry. That's the other photo. So in this photo,
That is Catherine on that.
it is, yeah, it is. But there should be another photo. But on this photo here, you have Vanessa Evans. She is the third from the right there. You can see she's got her mouth full of pie. She is the one who took home first place, eating
Nice.
over 2 pounds of pie, including much of the crust, Jen.
Oh god.
Yeah, so she was putting it away. So there was that photo. If you can go to the next one, Dylan. Okay, so here's the girls and the one that I was reading. So you have that's Catherine and is it Kyra Glass?
Yes.
They tag teamed it, which you weren't supposed to do. So she got her score deducted a little bit. She got 6th place. Jenna Johnston got 5th place. Mindy Eisenagel got 4th place. Brittany Lowe got 3rd place. Sydney Kelly got 2nd place. And then Vanessa Urban there with 1st place. And the T-shirts that the ladies were wearing, they got to auction those off to the highest bidder as well.
Nice. I love those tie-dye
Yeah.
shirts.
So, and on the back, it had a, it said spaghetti, Boy Scout spaghetti and auction there.
That's awesome.
So that was fun. Then we can move on to the spaghetti eating contest. Here you have, this is it Puggy, J. John, and he's right there finishing off the last noodle of his plate. Now get this, Jen. He ate over 3 pounds of spaghetti. 3 pounds of spaghetti.
Oh, that's a lot of spaghetti.
Yeah, and you have there, that's John Stabler. I think he's like one of the Scoutmasters.
Yes.
I think you have one of his boys on the
Yes.
show, youngest boys
Yep.
on the show. And then we also have a winner's photo for them. So from the left here, you have that's David Frame in 6th place, Stephen Johnston 5th place, Adam Johnston 4th place, Holdren Wright 3rd place, Matt Juniper 2nd place, and then Pogie J. John in 1st place. And they also got to auction off their T-shirts to the highest bidder. And as you can see, they also signed their shirts as well. And
That's hilarious.
so they had some folks bidding on those. But I talked to somebody during the event before I left, and they had 40. They sold 47 pounds of spaghetti, 27 pounds of meatballs, and they used 18 1-gallon cans of sauce during the course of that event.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that sounds like a pretty successful
I
event
think
that they had
did
up there.
quite well. Yes.
And it all goes back to a good cause, and it was pretty well attended when I was
Good.
up there for the contest portion.
Yeah, especially
I'm not
because
sure
it's
like
kind of an
throughout
all
the
day
it's an all day
situation.
thing. You
Yeah.
could get lunch and dinner, and they have it over the course of several hours there. So anyhow,
That's awesome.
we'll move on to the Oak Hill Union Local School District Board of Education. I know last week we talked about Jason Mantell becoming the new, well, he was already superintendent, but now officially he
Yes.
lost that interim, and now he's here for 3 years unless he chooses to leave or something. But during that same meeting, they also honored several students, did public recognition for those folks. And I want to talk a little bit about those, if we can put the pictures up. First, you had the first student honored there on the left. That, for those watching, that is Savannah Stickler. And she had a art piece entitled Eye of the Beholder, which was on display at the University of Rio Grande Student Art Show. And that show and reception was held on February 23rd at the Greer Museum? Yes. The Greer Museum. And they honored her for having her high school piece of art on display at the college.
So cool.
And this is the art teacher there, Angie Richards, presenting her with a certificate of excellence. Also, during the meeting and the recognition portion, they honored the Oak Hill High School band members. There were several of them that earned a seat at the 2023 Scioto County Honors Band. And there's all the students with their certificates. I have names here, and I'll try to go through and hopefully not butcher them too bad, Jen, because you know how I am with names. We will start with, let's see, make sure I'm on the right cut line here, because they also honored choir students as well. So standing from the left, you have Blast Berger, Cole, I probably shouldn't even try to do these names, Jen. Anyhow, these
lot
are
of kids.
a lot of kids. Usually when there's this many, it's on the website. Because I don't want to mess up the names too bad. But anyhow, these are your 2023 Sauter County Honors Band students from Oak Hill High School who had earned a seat, and they actually have already performed down there at that festival. It's called the 80th Sauter County Music Festival, and it's held at Shawnee State University's Vern Rife Center for the Arts, and that was held on February 28th. And we also have, we can show the choir picture too. And you can see some of the students are dressed up here. Some of the students that are in choir were in the production of Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
That was held over the weekend, and I went down Sunday. It was a excellent production.
Cool.
They did a great rendition of Beauty and the Beast. It was Disney's Beauty and the Beast Junior is what it was entitled, and kudos to them on their production. But here's those students from choir that also had performed at the 2023 Sauter County Honors Band, and that's always a privilege for them to be able to do that. So shout out to them.
Cool.
Also on the Oak Hill School Board front, I'd like to mention that at the end of the meeting, they had changed the date for the next school board meeting.
Okay.
So usually the meetings are held on the third Wednesday of the month, and in the month of April, it will be held on the fourth Wednesday, which is Wednesday, April 26th, same time at 5:30 p.m. there at the Oak Hill Middle High School Library, and that is for the Oak Hill Union Local School District Board of Education.
Okay.
So I wanted to give that a little notice out there.
Yeah.
Just for people that may not be aware. They do have a list of these meetings on their school website. You can get on and kind of keep track if you're interested in attending those meetings. And they usually will do updates on there if they happen to change the time or date again.
Okay.
So, but I always try to make sure I put a notice out. Keeping on the school front, I can't remember if we talked about the Wellston High School Drama Club and what they're performing.
I don't think so.
So they are doing the Addams Family School Edition, and here's a photo of the cast for those watching on the TV. And the Wellston High School Drama Club is inviting the community to meet the creepy, kooky, altogether ooky family in their upcoming spring musical entitled The Addams Family School Edition.
I think you should have sung that.
Yeah, well, like I told James, I have not watched The Addams Family, Jen. I'm going to have to look it up and watch it.
Well, shame on you.
It is a shame on me. So the Wellston High School Drama Club director, Charity Potter, told the Telegram this year there's 46 students involved. The cast
awesome.
and crew members include students from the Wellston Intermediate School, the Wellston Middle School, and the Wellston High School. And the production will be held on Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st at 7 p.m. each evening. On Sunday, April 2nd at 2 p.m. and the production will be held at the high school cafetorium. Tickets are $5 for general seating and $10 for reserve seating. Reserve tickets can be purchased at Wellston Middle School. General admission tickets can be purchased at Wellston Middle School, Wellston High School, and Daisy's Hometown Coffee. So that'll be coming up here in not this weekend, but the weekend after next.
That's awesome.
This weekend, I don't have it here in my hand, but don't forget about Jackson High School and their production. They'll be doing Seussical the Musical, so be sure to look for that. I know they were selling their tickets online. If they had any left, they would be selling them on the door. So the deadline, I think, is coming up later this week for that if you are interested.
Okay.
So be sure to check that out as well.
Kind
Should
of
be
their
entertaining.
take on Dr. Seuss
Yes.
stuff.
Right. Should be entertaining. A lot
Yes.
of bright colored costumes, and I've seen a lot of the like familiar characters from the books. So it'll be should be an interesting show. I'm gonna try to get out to attend it, and Wellston as well. And like I said, Oak Hills was this past weekend, and I will have a photo gallery on the website from their production, and we should have a short story and some photos in an upcoming edition.
Awesome.
So this week, Jen, I still can't say it, but the village, the village of Oak Hills sesquicentennial. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Sesquicentennial.
Ses-
It's pretty good.
Let me see the word.
Sesquicentennial.
We're gonna sound this out.
I'm gonna sound it out. Well, they've had me on like 2 different times, and Dylan has made TikToks about me trying to say
sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial.
Surprisingly, it was the highest viewed video.
Oh
for
my
a while.
goodness! Yeah, because like yeah. So anyway, the 150th anniversary there in the village of Oak Hill. So this week, the Oak Hill Area Chamber of Commerce, who has been spearheading the events for this celebration down there, Jen, wants to remind folks that
What is it they're celebrating?
The sesquicentennial. I think it's pretty close.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like when Pete comes on and says it, though. Pete is very good at saying it. So anyhow, their next event will be a special bingo night, and the event will be held at the Madison Jefferson Bingo Hall on Thursday, March 23rd at 6:30 p.m. The cost to play will be $25, and that gets you 16 games, Jen.
Cool.
It says no prize will be less than $50. There will also be special games to purchase. Refreshments will be on sale as well, and all the proceeds from this event will be going back to the Oak Hill Festival of Flags.
Very good.
And I know the folks over there at the Oak Hill Festival Flags Committee, they have a lot of things lined up for this year. And one thing that they always do, and I don't know if these proceeds will go towards that or not, but they always try to buy a ride ticket for each of the elementary school aged kids.
Love that.
Yeah,
That's so good.
So, all this money kind of goes back in that big pot, and I'm sure they use some of that towards that. But
Yes.
I know the last several years they have always accomplished that goal thanks to the community. So it's always great that gives them the opportunity. If you're a family of several, and the tickets are I don't know, $10-15 each to ride all day or something, that really adds up.
Yes, it would.
So that's nice of them to do that.
Yeah, there's no kid that shouldn't be able to, enjoy themselves at these festivals.
Right. All right, let's see. So we'll talk about some more. I should have talked about this earlier, but I had it in my stack here. There was some Jackson County Commissioner meetings that I covered not too long ago, but this some information about the Jackson County Planning Commission. So they did some reappointment and designated some folks for that, and I wanted to mention who those folks are. Dan Folks and Ryan Pelletier were reappointed to the Jackson County Planning Commission. And these appointments have to go through the commissioners, so they approve these appointments. So Falks and Pelletier's new terms will run through December 31st of 2025, and they also appointed some designees in case somebody that's on the committee isn't able to attend. They can send somebody else in their stay.
Gotcha.
And those individuals are Jennifer Jacobs, Anthony Brenner, Brian McPherson, were all designated as Planning Commission alternatives. And Jacobs would fill in for Donnie Willis. Brenner would fill in for Ryan Pelletier. And McPherson would fill in for Melissa Miller, who's also a Jackson County engineer.
Yeah.
And
Which Brian was before that. So
right.
That makes sense.
Yes. And like I said, those individuals would attend those meetings if the main person couldn't. And they also appointed to the committee, which I thought this made sense, they appointed Larry Foster from the Jackson County Water Company. Was also appointed to the committee, and his alternative will be Keith Solomon, who is also with the Jackson County Water Company. And the purpose of that Jackson County Planning Commission Board is for the purpose of protecting public health, safety, comfort and convenience, and general welfare. It regulates the development of subdivided areas, promoting arrangements of streets, layouts of lots, and there's just a number of other things that this board also oversees. So the board is also responsible for building permits, residential properties, and a flood plan reviews for any structure built in a flood area.
Okay.
So wanted to just shout out those individuals for getting reappointed and or serving as alternates. We can talk about this. Our Telegram editorial assistant Alex Shope covered a ribbon cutting up on AC Avenue. This is the Herbal Wellness Center, and they are taking over the AC Avenue dispensary there. And I'm going to read this since it wasn't something that I covered, not as familiar with it. It says, access to alternative medicine may soon become easier for any patients of the area as an exciting transition is taking place at the AC Avenue Marijuana Dispensary in Jackson. Formerly Buckeye Botanicals, the dispensary opened in February of 2019 after the State of Ohio Board of Pharmacy awarded a medical marijuana provisional dispensary license to 3 AC Avenue location, making it the only state-approved vendor for sales in Jackson, Gallia, Scioto, and Lawrence counties. While the dispensary receives both positive and negative responses regarding its opening, it has flourished in the previous years, thanks in part to many patrons and support of those educated in benefits of medical marijuana. So just wanted to touch on the change of hands out there of the Herbal Wellness Center. It says they will offer first-rate exceptional care to customer service as the patients of Jackson and surrounding areas. It says being so close to both there's a processing facility as well, the Appalachia Farms. The organization felt that as the collaboration with the Herbal Wellness Center would be not only beneficial to their own growth, but also for the people they serve. So we had, I'm sure Dylan had already showed the pictures while I was chatting away here, but they had that ribbon cutting out there to celebrate the change of hands, and that took place on March 1st. And just wanted to mention that for those folks who maybe utilize that facility.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I guess we're switching back to Jackson County Commissioners again here. I should have
See a common
organized
thread
these.
in here.
I should have organized these a little better. I apologize, and stayed on the same line
You're
of thought
fine.
here. So the Jackson County Board of Commissioners recently showed their support for the Youth Leadership Association, who is developing nearby Cave Lake into a center for community leadership.
Now what?
Yeah. So
What's Cave Lake?
Cave Lake. Let's see here. I have so Cave Lake is nestled in the Appalachia foothills of western Pike County. So it's not in Jackson County,
Okay.
it's in Pike County.
Probably why I haven't heard of it.
Right. And the Jackson County Commission Vice President Paul Hauer had said that the commission was sending a letter of support to David King, who's involved in the development of YLA, and to the Governor's Office of Appalachia Director John Kerry. It says YLA works to prepare the next generation of communities, civic and business leaders in Ohio and West Virginia. In Jackson County, there's a chapter of YLA at Jackson High School. And Haller says that the Jackson County youth have benefited from YLA, successor to High Y. Maybe that's more familiar.
Okay, yeah.
For more than 70 years, it says more youth, including Haller, have attended the YLA camp Horseshoe in West Virginia. He, like other youth, had been a Horseshoe camp counselor, and now that the YLA is developing nearby Cave Lake into a center for community leadership, they're hoping that that will benefit those closer. They don't have as far to travel.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're sending this letter of support, and Commissioner Haller said the Jackson County Commission supports the work of our YLA teens becoming YLA creation of the Center for Community Leadership, and will encourage its use by our youth, adult groups, organizations, business, and all schools. So they sent this letter in the form of a resolution to those folks to show their support. Last I checked, this was still kind of in the works.
Yeah,
Out there at this Cave Lake. It looks like a pretty site for something like this, too.
I bet.
So anyhow,
That's cool.
so we have the primary election coming up in May, Jen. And earlier, prior to the election, if you want to get a if you want to get an item, a levy, if you want to get a levy on the ballot prior to the election, you have to do some legwork prior to.
Yes.
So the Jackson County Commissioners had adopted a pair of resolutions to place a public health levy on the ballot this coming election. And Jackson County Health Commissioner Kevin Ashton had been on hand at the meetings with the commission to give them some information about the levy. And because of this levy being a county level levy, that means everybody in Jackson County will have the opportunity to vote on it come May 2nd. So a little bit about the levy. Ashton explained that the levy is a renewal. It's not a new tax. The levy is 0.3 of a mil. That's 0.3. So it's not a very big one at all. If passed during the election, it would begin the tax year of 2024, calendar year 2025, and it will be for a period of 10 years. Quoting the health commissioner here, he says this levy was new 10 years ago, which is hard to believe.
I know,
it seems
right?
like we just voted on that not too long ago. He said, I would like to point out to the public once again, anytime this subject comes up, that our taxes for public health are lower under his administration. Most county health departments in the state of Iowa are funded at least by a 1 mil level levy. And he said, this one is the 0.3. And I guess the health department also has another levy that is a 0.5 mil. So altogether, that it's like a 0.8 for their services over there. And what this levy helps with, he said, these levies are the core of the health department's discretionary funds to provide the services they do to Jackson County. The funds help carry out the health programs for Jackson County. In the last several years, they had used these funds to help pay for public health nurses, because we had the tracking of COVID there towards the beginning, and then they utilized those folks for the administering the shots for COVID. It says those nurses also track COVID and other infectious diseases such as TB, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Hep C, etc. He said it's an important source of funding, and the funding helps to maintain the level of freedom from infectious diseases that citizens here in Jackson County enjoy. And I like this quote, so I'm going to read it from Ashton. He says, "I'm not asking for the moon, stars, and sun. I just want to keep the health department funded like it has been here in the past."
So this is a renewal. So this isn't like going to, make your taxes any higher or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. You're just continuing on, what we've been doing the past 10 years and, keeping our health department funded.
Right. And this renewal levy, if passed again, it would generate $240,000 per year to support the health department, and all the commission were talked highly about the health department, especially during the last several years.
My goodness, throw them a bone
during
here.
the health during the health
had
pandemic.
a rough time.
Yeah, it was. It was a different time then.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I wanted to mention that will be on the ballot come May 2nd.
Okay.
So just be aware of that we will have a countywide election, and that will be on there.
Okay.
Now, some folks, we will be doing a story on this at some time in the near future on what all is on the ballots. For most folks, it's just going to be this public health levy, but there are some levies on in other places. Like I think the village of Colton has one coming up. On theirs. I know in the city of Wellston, you'll have that contested mayor's race because Mr. Anthony Brenner, who just got appointed, he will be facing off against Tom Clark in the mayor's race there. I think they may also have a levy on as well, but I can't remember if it was what it was for exactly. But we'll have a detailed story on that in coming editions. I do have a story, and I touched on this last week, about the Jackson County Board of Elections moving polling places.
Yes.
We had went over that, and I'll have a detailed story on that, and it'll also cover the deadline for when the last day it is to register to vote, or if you need to re-register. It'll also go over the days in which you can early vote in person. You can do an absentee ballot at the Jackson County Board of Elections.
Yep. Super easy. Go in your own
Super easy.
time.
Yeah, you have a month prior to the
Yeah.
election to do that. I think it starts April. I feel like the deadline to register was like April 3rd, and then the early voting starts the following day, April 4th, and that runs up until it's like the day before or like the day before that. I think it's like that Sunday maybe, and then there isn't any on Monday, and then Tuesday is the election. And also wanted to mention on the election front too, if you haven't had any voter activity in the last 6 years, your name may have been removed from the voter rolls.
Right.
So, in an attempt to keep the voter rolls cleaned up and active, the Secretary of State had issued, like memos to the County Board of Elections to have them clean those up. A number of reasons why they do that. That could be just getting rid of folks who have passed, or maybe folks that don't, reside here anymore. But when I looked, there was 571 folks here in Jackson County that had been removed from those voter
Okay.
rolls.
So if you haven't voted in a while, you might want
haven't
to check
voted
and
in a
make sure you're
while,
still registered to vote.
and it's super simple. You can call the Jackson County Board of Elections, and they can check, or you can get on the Secretary of State website, and you can do a search on there. You can just plug your name in, and if you pop up, then it'll say whether you're registered or you need to
Okay.
re-register. So just be aware of that, because I know that's coming up here not too far away, Jen. I mean, we're almost through March here, and
Can you believe that?
I know we'll be getting into busy season as far as news goes, but we still have time on this. I know we're talking about the election, but here this summer we got the Jackson County Fair coming up, and they always do their royalty contest here in the spring, Jen. So I wanted to mention this is a change from recent years. The Jackson County Junior Fair royalty contest will be conducted in late April instead of early June.
Okay.
So if you're interested in that, or if you have children that are interested in that, applications for the 2023 Jackson County Junior Fair Royalty Contest are now available online. Applications are available for download on the Jackson County Extension Office's website at go.osu.ed/fairqueens. And that's where you can access that. Maybe Dylan can put it up on the screen there for us. The deadline for the reason I mentioned this is because the deadline to get an application in is coming up. The deadline for applications for all royalty, that is for Fair Queen, Great Attendance, Little Miss, Little Mister. The deadline is Tuesday, March 28th.
Okay.
So it's coming up.
A week from
We
tomorrow.
got 8 days. Got 8 days to get one in. Applications are to be turned in at the extension office by 4:30 p.m. on the 28th. There will be no exceptions. All the royalty contests will be held on the same day on Saturday, April 22nd at Parks Edge Event Center in Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And if you need any help filling out applications, or if you have any questions, you can contact Jackson County Fair Queen Director Angie Eisenagel. Her phone number is 740-418-5017.
Okay.
So just be aware that that's coming up. You're running out of time if you're interested in signing your little girl up for that.
There you
or
go.
little boy, because they have
yeah.
the little mister too.
Yeah.
So
Equal opportunity.
equal opportunity. Let me look at my stack here. Okay, we're going to get into some crime news. I was saving this because I didn't know Phil was going to come in, but I think we're going to have Pete come in and talk
Okay.
about his vacation. But I was saving this just in case. But we're doing good on time,
Yeah.
so we'll go ahead and touch on this, and hopefully James went to get Pete and bring him back.
We'll see.
Because I'm running out of time. And then we'll just have to run out of stories here, so we'll have to wing it. So, a date for the trial of a local man standing accused of numerous felonies involving alleged sexual abuse of minors who appear to be his own children, adopted or otherwise, has been tentatively set for April 24th through the 28th in Jackson County Common Pleas Court. The individual is Robert J. Nickel, 50, of Chillicothe Pike, Jackson, was indicted by the Jackson County Grand Jury on February 21st for 3 counts of rape. Those are first-degree felonies, 2 counts of sexual battery, that's third-degree felony, and 1 count of gross sexual imposition, that's a third-degree felony. The 2 counts of sexual battery further specify in the indictment that Nickel allegedly engaged in sexual contact with a minor who is the other person's natural or adoptive parent, step-parent, guardian, or person, with they're saying like a step-parent.
Yeah.
Or adoptive parent. Or other person's natural parent, it says. Nickel appeared for his arraignment on February 24th, at which time he pled not guilty to all charges. The Jackson County Common Pleas Court Judge Christopher Regan set his bond at $200,000 or 10% cash or full surety. As of press time, Nickel was still incarcerated in the Jackson County Correctional Facility. He is being... hang on a second, I lost my place. According to reports from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, a juvenile family member told a neighbor that Nickel had attempted to rape her. After reporting the allegations, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office deputy discovered that Nickel had reportedly sexually abused the juvenile over several years. It says just days following Nickel's indictment, his wife filed for divorce. The paperwork for which indicates the couple have 8 children. It says their respective...
Did you say 8 children?
That's what it says. The couple have 8 children.
Okay.
Their respective ages have been redacted, and it is uncertain if they are adopted or born of the marriage. So a lot of this seems like we've had a lot of this in the news lately, and I think that we've touched on this before, but that's kind of a little update on that as the trial is upcoming next month. So we'll get out of the seat here, Jen, and let Mr. Telegram here, Telegram editor Pete Wilson is back in the house from his vacation. So we're going to have him come over and talk about his experience while he was gone.
Very good. Thank you, Jeremiah. Awesome. Come on over, Pete. We've missed you
Yes, okay.
so much.
Yeah, I wasn't available, sorry. I wasn't out of the country, but I was out of the state.
You were.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that we basically kicked you out, made you go take a vacation. Not that we don't love you, but we need you to take a break occasionally.
Okay, thank you.
So we're glad that you got to do that.
Right. It was nice, very nice.
Did you have a blast?
It was very nice, yes. Did a kind of like a bus trip with a tour group that went out west.
Okay.
Several spots on the way out west, and then the highlight of the Grand Canyon.
Oh.
Which, is... Have you been there?
No, but I've flown over it.
Okay, well...
I've been to Arizona. I just haven't been to the, per se, Grand Canyon.
This was my second trip to the Grand Canyon. The other one was a long time ago. And I tell you what, it is one of the 7 wonders of the natural world, and I'm sure it deserves to be.
I would say so.
But I tell you what,
You didn't look down, did you?
Oh, sure, you'd have to look down.
Oh, gosh.
But pictures don't do it justice, and if you're there, it just looks like a gigantic hole, hole in the earth, and it is so big and so colorful that, it doesn't look real. It looks like somebody's, done a painting or something visual arts or something like that.
Somebody's messing with you.
Yeah, it's you have to see it to believe it, and probably, I'm guessing, the best way to have a full perspective of it is from the air.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Mm-hmm. So, how was the Grand Canyon formed? I'm sure I learned that in like the 4th grade or something. But is it a glacier situation or?
It's a geological thing because of the Colorado River. The Colorado River carved its way through time, a lot of time, through a bunch of rocks, and it formed this canyon.
I see.
And it is so big and so vast that it's hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
And when you look from the top, there's a north rim and a south rim. Most people go to the south rim. the Colorado River, you can without binoculars, you can just see a crack kind of in the middle where it is, and I'm certainly not a world traveler. I've traveled some around the country. Love natural stuff. Love national parks and all like that. And the Grand Canyon would probably be my number 2 site for. Can you believe what I've just seen? Number 1 is Niagara Falls.
Oh,
and I
okay.
think that is only because you can grasp it. You can grasp
Yeah.
it. The Grand Canyon you cannot grasp.
Yes.
I mean, it's just something.
Just
it-
can't wrap your head around
it is just something to see. And, there is kind of like a Jackson connection to the Grand Canyon that's historical.
Really?
The Grand Canyon was the very last part of the continental United States to ever be explored.
Okay.
Because it was in the middle of nowhere. It's still kind of in the middle of nowhere. Only hotel builders go there. But if in the Grand Canyon, I mean, Grand Canyon was not explored, the river itself down on the land part. I mean, there were Indians and pioneers that looked out over the rim over the years. But John Wesley Powell, who actually lived in Jackson
Yes.
in his youth, there's a Powell Memorial
Yes.
downtown. He was the one in 1869 who took a 10-man expedition into the Grand Canyon. And at that time, it was looked upon as, you don't know what you're going to find because it
It was
was
kind of like outer space.
it was not only unmapped, it was unexplored. Now, that is what he did kind of in the name of science. There was 3 men who did not come back from that. So 3 men died along the way. Very dangerous. It really deserves a greater place in history than it received, but about the same time they finished the Transcontinental Railroad, which people were very interested in because, it linked the country and opened up the settlement to the west. And John Wesley Powell did not get any government help, couldn't get funding because, everybody was interested in the railroad.
Gotcha.
But he did write a book about it.
Interesting.
There's also books that have been written about it, but it is very interesting. That was the last place in the continental United States to really be explored by man, and a former Jackson resident did it. Now, the truth is, he and his family were from New England. Somehow they ended up in Jackson, not for very many years, a couple years before the Civil War, and they moved. They were unhappy. This was just before the Civil War, and they felt unhappy here because there were too many, in their mind, Southern sympathizers. Because we were close to the Ohio River, and there were people called Copperheads who were sympathetic to the South, not necessarily for the South, but they understood the South's position about slavery, and they felt like we shouldn't go to war to keep them from going.
I gotcha.
So, there was probably more of that sentiment than you might have thought.
Woo-wee.
But anyway,
Yeah.
other parts of the trip that I liked, we stopped in Oklahoma City, which is a wonderful city, by the way.
Okay.
You don't hear much about it, but it's the biggest city in Oklahoma and the capital, state capital as well. The Alfred P. Murrah Building, which was a federal building, the biggest incident of domestic terrorism took place there in 1975.
Okay.
Huge federal building. The FBI was there, but it was much more than the FBI. About every federal agency in the region had offices there, and of course, a domestic terrorist led by Timothy McVeigh, who was later executed for the crime, had a truck parked in front, huge bomb, killed 168 people in that building. It was kind of like a prelim to 9/11, only it was domestic.
But it was
Right,
a
and it wasn't
resident
nearly as many people killed, and didn't sound quite as sexy or all because of the national terror or the international terrorism, whatever. But at the time, a horrible
It
thing.
was- it
About
was bad.
680 people injured, and you're talking about everyday people. You're not talking about soldiers or firefighters. You're talking about clerks and stenographers and administrators.
got dressed and went to work that day, and
And they have built in the wake of that horrible tragedy. They have built a wonderful memorial museum there. It was really something to see. I was so impressed.
is the building still there? And then they rebuilt it, or are they still using it for the same?
It was pretty much destroyed, and they built this memorial partially on the site. And on the site where the building was, right next to it, they've got what they call memorial chairs, and it's 168 chairs for each person that was killed, and there was daycare there. Many of the people killed were children who were there as part of a daycare thing. So just a horrible thing, but a wonderful memorial, and it's a testament to the safety forces, the police and the firefighters and the EMS people, just like you heard about 9/11, who came to the scene and were able to save a lot of the people. In some cases they couldn't, but in many cases they were able to rescue people and save their lives. You know, horrible injuries maybe, but they were able to pull them out of there. But anyway, a lot of states, in addition to the Grand Canyon, we stopped for several days in Sedona, which you have probably heard much about. Have you been there?
I have not been to Sedona. I've been to Arizona several times, but not Sedona, which I've heard is just one of the most beautiful places you'll ever see.
Sedona is kind of like, maybe 70 miles south of the Grand Canyon. It is in the mountains, but also in the desert, and they get the best of both worlds. It doesn't get as hot as it does down south where Phoenix and Tucson is, but they seldom get snow either. They're about 3,000 feet down from where Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon is, and they have beautiful red rock canyons that surround the town. We came in at night, and so you didn't see them. We woke up and looked outside of our hotel room, and these beautiful red rock canyons that are right out of a picture postcard. Many of the old westerns were shot there. You know, you see the background, the red rock. They shot them there because of the scenery.
Makes sense.
But we were there at a week that was spring break. Spring break starts in early March or mid-March for the colleges and some of even the public schools or whatever. I know our spring breaks tend to be right around the Easter holiday, but not all the spring breakers go to the beach. I'll tell you that. There was a lot of them that were in Sedona the week that we were there. It was very, very busy. It's very upscale. A lot of tourists, a lot of residents that count on tourism. Let me tell you how upscale it is. You're not going to get a hamburger for much less than $18.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
I had one because I wanted one. All right. And also, the city manager of Sedona, makes $183,000 a year.
Nice.
Which is exactly almost twice what the governor of Arizona makes. Now, okay, so you say Sedona, big city. 9,000 people live in Sedona, which is not that much bigger than Jackson.
Correct.
But it is just a lot of hotels. There is no industry at all. It is all
tourism based.
All tourism and winter birds who have the money to stay there.
Yeah.
But it was something to see. The scenery was just dynamite.
That's the fun thing about going out west. It's so different than where, we live. We have Hocking Hills. Everything's green and, we have the leaves and the grass, and it's just the antithesis of that, but it's so beautiful.
Right.
So beautiful.
It is, and in the Southwest, especially if you get in the mountains, I mean, we had some cold temperatures. There was some snow in the air or whatever. You have this picture of the desert and warm or hot all year round.
For sure.
Maybe some areas, but not all areas, because the Rocky Mountains, although you don't think that much. You think Colorado and Montana and Wyoming. The Rocky Mountains come through the Southwest too, and actually start down in Mexico. So. There are some heights and scenery there as well. And in the higher elevations, you can drive 30 miles and the temperature will change 20 degrees or whatever.
Kind of crazy.
Right. But my other impressions, when we were driving out west, once you get into Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, part of Texas, you're talking about flatlands and open ranges. You're driving along the interstate and, you'll drive 40 miles before you hit another town or whatever. A lot of cows, a lot of windmills on the new wind solar power.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that there, and you just don't see quite as many people. You don't see quite as many trees. You don't see, even though it's a little warmer, you don't see grass growing.
Yes.
It's just a different landscape.
It totally is.
Right.
But beautiful nonetheless.
It certainly is. But we were in, let's see, I believe we went through Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, stayed in St. Louis one day and got to see the arch there.
Oh, cool.
Stayed in Oklahoma City, Amarillo one day. A lot of the cities in the South and the Southwest are growing. You know, I was told, I read this somewhere, that one of the largest cities in the country now is Phoenix, all right? And it wasn't that way even 50 years ago. There isn't a probably city in this country that has benefited more by the invention of air conditioning, because nobody could stand to be there,
Yeah.
you know, if they didn't have air
Right.
conditioning. And they have the same thing there. People that live in Phoenix flee during the summer. They don't want to be there in the summer.
That's right.
Just like in Florida, you know, they're summer birds that fly
Yes,
north.
they come. Yeah, they come here to cool
Right,
off.
right. And if you're retired and you have the means, you can have it both ways.
That's
Go
right.
south in the winter and go north in the winter.
Well, very
But
good.
it was a wonderful vacation, wonderful getaway. I will give a little endorsement to our tour company, Croswell.
Yes.
They are actually located just down the Appalachian Highway in Williamsburg, Ohio. That's a little town, smaller than Oak Hill, I think, that is located about 25 miles east of Cincinnati. It's easy to get to from the Appalachian Highway.
Sure.
And they offer a long succession of tours. They can be one-day deals to 1 month to Alaska.
That's awesome.
And you know, it's economical, and you meet a lot of nice people, and that's one of the nice things. A lot of people from southwestern Ohio, northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, and even out our way towards southeastern Ohio. As a matter of fact, Tom Jenkins and his wife Chris Jenkins, Tom, longtime administrator in the Jackson
Yeah.
City School District, he was on this trip with us.
Oh, cool.
So you know, we had
I know that guy.
yeah, exactly. We had a great time, and I would recommend, you know, if one of the advantages of going with a tour group is, you do lose some control, but you don't have to worry about the driving. You don't have to worry about booking hotels.
Right, it's all taken care of for
It's
you.
all taken care of, and they kind of sometimes have some ins that you might not know about or have on your own.
Sure.
So it was
Go with the experts.
It was very nice.
Good. Well, we missed you so much, but we're glad that you got away and got to take a little breather.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, is there anything else you'd like to discuss today, Pete, while you're here?
Well, not that I can think of. One of the things that, you know, maybe we'll talk about on the news a little bit later on, we've got a primary election coming up.
We do.
And people in the Jackson City School District and the Wellston City School District have received official notification from the Board of Elections about the different polling places.
Yes.
Basically, to simplify it, everybody who lives in the Jackson City School District will be voting at the Jackson High School Fieldhouse. Everybody who lives in the Wellston City School District will be voting at Wellston High School. And that will be through this primary and going forward, you know, as far as I know. Now, on the Oak Hill side, the Board of Elections hopes to get permission for one of the schools in Oak Hill to be a voting precinct, but that has not yet been approved by the school district. So if you live in the Oak Hill School District, it remains as it has been before, which most people there would be going to the Madison Jefferson Bingo Hall.
That's right.
Pretty much covers the Oak Hill School District.
You should have gotten a yellow postcard in the mail if you're registered to vote, and it will tell you where to go.
Right, and it'll be the same deal. Early voting will take place, you know, a month out.
Well, it got to be a little confusing because, like, Jamie and I, even though we live on Standpipe, we're in the Oak Hill School District, but my card said that we vote in Jackson. So I was like,
What township are you in?
Franklin.
Okay, well, that would be the Jackson City School District. Even though, Franklin Township is supposed to vote you voted at the Memorial Building before, didn't you?
I don't know. I always go to the Board of Elections, so I have no
Oh,
idea
okay.
where I'm supposed to vote.
Oh, Franklin Township was assigned not to the Memorial Building, I'm sorry, to the
To the
YMCA.
Y. Yeah, I think it was
Right,
the Y.
because we had 3 polling places in Jackson, the YMCA and the Memorial Building. I'm sorry, 2. But the city people and people closest to Jackson voted at the YMCA, and some of the townships came into the Memorial Building, even though it's in the city.
It's a little confusing.
Right. So, you know, pay
if you're
attention to your
unsure-
postcards, and
yeah.
we will be publicizing it heavily on our
Yes.
media platforms.
Yep. And hopefully once we get all this stuff and get them in the schools, it won't change again.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Well, Pete, thank you so much for filling us in. We're glad to have you back. And we'll be back here tomorrow on Tuesday with another Cycle Search clue. And I don't know. What are we doing tomorrow, James?
Having fun.
We're having fun, he says. So there you go. All right. Have a great day, everyone. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.